Okay, we're gonna ignore how bad I look. We're just gonna skim right fucking past it and get to the point of this fucking video, which is hopefully gonna be short, okay? And yes, one of my nails came off. I'm very upset about it, but it's fine. So as you can tell from the title of this video, it's called 20 Things I Learned by the Age of 20. Loads of people have done this. I came up with the idea like 6 months before my 20th birthday, and I was like, now I can finally do it. So I'm gonna do it. And I made this list and we're gonna go through it. Oh, sorry, I forgot to apologize for the fan in the background. If I don't have it on, I'm gonna pass out, and I literally mean that. So let's just ignore the loud sound in the background for a sec. The first thing is probably the most important thing that I've personally learned, which is do not stay where you are not appreciated the way that you want to be appreciated. By which I mean, if you are wanting a relationship with someone but that someone is giving you mixed signals or don't want to be with you that way, leave. Even if you want to be a friend, leave, because you need that time to heal, to understand what you want, to have that individual space. And also part of this particular one I wanted to add to this was people always come back. You know, whether it was you that hurt them or them that hurt you, in which my case 99% of the time it's been they have hurt me. Whether it's a friend or even family, obviously people I've been in relationships with, and each time you get to choose, is this something I want to pursue again? Is this person light enough? Sometimes off the bat you'll know, no, I don't want this person in my life again, and the other time you'll know, actually I do want this, but it's going to require a lot, and it's up to you to make that decision, and it's also up to them in a way to prove themselves to you. And there's only been one instance where someone has truly proven to me they have changed and that they are sorry for their past behaviors, and now we're in a really good, healthy, happy place together. So that's great. There have been friends who I have let back into my life and it's been a mistake, and friends I've let back into my life where it's like it had truly changed, but so much time had passed that although we're great on great terms now, we're not as close as we were because things have just changed, and that's just life. So people always come back, but it's really important to know what you want from someone and what you can give them, and to not allow them to give you less and to not give less, and to stay where you are appreciated the way you want to be appreciated. 2, learn to get over guilt and regret or regret. I have lived by this term and this phrase, to not regret anything, so I do everything. I try everything once. It's just something that you have to get over, because for example, when I was in Greece last week, my dad and my sister went paragliding and me and my mum watched them do it, and I can't swim. They don't ask if you can swim because you get life jackets on, and it doesn't really require swimming apart from at the end where you have to swim to the boat, but it's like a meter, it's nothing. However, I do not feel comfortable in water. Even with a jacket on, even swimming a meter, I do not have comfortability with it at all. And I felt bad because I was like, Mum, if you want to do it, like, go do it with Dad, like, you know, just don't like put that pressure on me. And she was like, no, I'm fine. And she's like, I don't want to do it. So I was like, okay. But there was still like this, like, oh, I don't want to regret this when I get back home. Like, it's such an experience and they loved it, and it was just like, do you know what? I've had my own experiences, and that's just life. Like, my version of a great life experience has been going to film premieres, which no one in my family would do, ever. And I've had that experience. I've spoken to Timothy Chalamet 3 times. I have a tattoo of him on my back. Not of him, but something he wrote for me in person on my back. You know, I've had different experiences, and so it's really important to get past that guilt and regret. And I think up until recently I was still learning that. 3, do it. Whatever it is you want, do it. I've also stuck by this my whole life. Sometimes I held myself back when I was younger, and I guess up until 16 I was like, fuck it, after 16 I was just like, I'm gonna just do what I want to fucking do at this point. I did. 4, take every risk. Yeah, this is a big one. I think risks are different for everyone. It depends what poses as dangerous to you. Like, for me, a risk would be going to Madame Tussauds because I hate wax figures. Would I take the risk? Yes. I want to see Ariana Grande's face melt in this disgusting fucking heat. 5, late nights, early mornings, it's all a part of life. People always consistently when you're younger tell you to get good sleep as if it changes anything. It really fucking doesn't. Especially, like, I think this mostly goes for me because, like, I have chronic exhaustion. So, like, I'm just consistently tired all the time. So it doesn't do anything for me. So I will have late nights and it will be okay because I'm fucking 20. I'm allowed to have late nights. And I'll have early mornings as well. At the same time, maybe. I'm not a health professional though, so don't listen to me. 6. You will learn things at a grown age you feel you should have learned earlier, but the fact that you're still learning is very normal. I'm not talking about shit like how to fucking treat people. You should know to just be nice and not be a racist, homophobic, sexist dickbag. I'm talking about shit like, this is so embarrassing. It's just certain things I don't like, as in, like, no matter how old I get, I just don't like it. But there are skills I still probably will need at some point in my life. Like, I fucking hate cooking. Do I know how to cook a fucking bowl of pasta? Of course I fucking do. I just don't like doing it. I hate being in the kitchen. I fucking hate it. Will I clean the whole house? Absolutely. Absolutely. My Virgo Venus thrives cleaning. But you wouldn't catch me in the kitchen unless it's making a fucking coffee. However, my younger sister, who is 16, is incredible in the kitchen and loves cooking. So it's just like, you should learn the skills, and it's okay if you learn the shit late and you don't want to learn it, but you should probably learn it. 7. What matters is your intention. And this is one that's probably going to be a bit like, people are going to be like, well, you know, my point here is, like, if you intend to be nice to someone or love someone but it hurts someone in the process, you didn't go out of your way to actually hurt someone, it just happened. And not everyone's gonna see that in life. Not everyone, you're gonna be a villain in so many people's stories and they're gonna be a villain in yours, and that's just fucking life. Okay, and you just need to get to grips with it. Nothing's gonna change that. If it does, cool. If it doesn't, cool, you know. And so it's just important that you know that your intention in your head wasn't I'm gonna hurt this person, I want to hurt this person. It was, I'm gonna love this person, or I'm gonna be kind to this person. You know, not everyone, you cannot make everyone happy, and so it's okay to just have a good intention and for it to not go as planned. It's fine. That's just life. 8. Educating yourself is important in today's age more than ever. And growing up in my generation, I've actually fucking hated it. And like, when I was growing up, I actually loved it. Like, I loved how woke everyone fucking seemed. And then after 18, it was just like, oh my god, I hate everyone. Because it was just, everyone's so chronically online, and like, my children will not have a phone until they're like 11, 12, which is when I had a phone. I didn't get it any earlier, and I just think people are online way too fucking young, and it's insane. And this parenting is just shocking to me. So it's important that we educate ourselves as adults, as an adult, that I learn enough to teach my children and to teach myself and my peers and my family, and instead of relying on chronically online preteens online. And no, I just, it also shouldn't take you growing up online to not be racist, do you know what I mean? Like, but I got taught a lot from being online, and so it's important that we have access to educating ourselves. Like, other people shouldn't have to educate us in a way, in a sense of like, I'm queer, but I shouldn't have to teach a straight man to not be homophobic. Will I put him in his place? Absolutely, but I shouldn't have to teach you. Do you know what I mean? So just educate yourself. If you have access to it as an adult, you should be educating yourself. 9. Listen to your gut. This is something I was teaching myself for years, and I only really applied this year. But it's done me miracles since. It really has. And listen, you're not going to be right all the time. Am I right 98% of the time? Yes, I am. Can't help being perfect and amazing. But listen to your gut. If your gut is saying no, don't do this, then no, don't do that. It's as easy as, and you don't need to explain yourself to anyone for this particular thing. Hone in on listening to your gut. And what feels impossible is more likely possible. I don't know how to explain this. I think like the best way to explain this is, growing up, was always someone who loved fame and celebrities. I was an actress from a very early age. Apparently I would put on shows for people at bus stops, and like I don't like I do now, but I didn't recognize that as myself for a very long time because my confidence got destroyed after being bullied for 6 years straight. And so for me, I didn't recognize that as me until very recently. That whole kind of thing came back again, and I feel very confident in myself and so on and so forth, and I love film and acting and singing and music, and I've always loved this stuff, and it's always been a passion of mine. And I would do like I would have like fake parties with like all the Disney Channel stars, like fucking Miley Cyrus, Selena Gomez. I would pretend like my invisible friends were literally Selena Gomez and like Nick Jonas, and like I was obsessed with this idea of living in a different world that I was in, and I'm still obsessed with that idea in a sense of like creating, like world creating and characters and shit like that. And so growing up and like being surrounded by like Timothy Chalamet, and like having met him so many times, and having met like famous people, and now being a film student in my final year of film school, it's just it doesn't seem impossible when I say it, but when you're younger you truly don't have like the concept of this is possible, this is not. And now that those things are coming to life for me, it's very exciting and I'm very happy. And even smaller things in that, like last year there was 2 years ago I fell in love with someone, and it kind of seemed doomed for like a year and a half, and it was like I'm gonna have to love this person from far away for the rest of my life, and it didn't turn out that way. And so I'm very happy, and you know, where no matter what happens, this has all still happened, and I thought it was impossible. So whatever you think is impossible is far more possible than you actually. Fact 11. Stay absolutely in tune with your inner child. Do you know how many things from Disney Channel I still listen to? All of it. The other day we were in, where were we? It was in the airport. No, we were at a restaurant in Greece, and we were going there for dinner regularly, but we went there for lunch because it was before we were going to the airport. And so in the mornings / lunch they were playing fucking Party in the USA by Miley Cyrus. When I say I belted that whole thing in front of everyone, I mean it. And it made my inner child so happy. I still watch kids shows sometimes. I just do things that like little Mia would do, you know? And so like that's really important, because I think, though I definitely, compared to a lot of people, I really do not have childhood trauma. I have different traumas. It's still very important that you are in touch with that child like side of you, because age, in a sense of like growing up and maturing, is so real, but no one talks about how the child you are, like that child that you were, is still there. Like that person is still inside of you. You've just grown, but you haven't changed 100%. You haven't done a 380, a 360, and you know, so you just need to remember that baby, that kid, that toddler, that preteen is still part of you, and to do what that person loves as well every now and then. 12. Flow with change and embrace new things, which is very hard for some people. Fixed sign in astrology, so sometimes it's very hard for me, but now I kind of thrive on it. For like the past 6 months, maybe a bit longer, I really thrive on change. Like staying in one place is too much for me now. That's just a very general advice. I would definitely listen to that, because literally nothing stays the same. 13. Independence is as important as companionship. I learned this very recently. I've always loved being independent in a way, but I've also been very dependent on companions, whether it's friends or relationships. to be there. And then like the beginning of this year, I was really forced in a position of, okay, it's time to get your shit together and be independent and be okay alone and love your fucking company so much to the point where like you don't want to die no more. And I did that. 14, find specific things that keeps you content / comforted. This is very important. I always say if you are an avid YouTube watcher, to find comfort YouTubers the same way that we find comfort shows, comfort movies. So you are taking in content online, which we are on significantly more than streaming sites. You're consistently surrounded by comforting things and things that make you happy instead of sad and negative. It speaks for itself really, doesn't it, darling? Dean, relax is a necessity, not a reward. Yeah, this one kicked me in the ass up until very recently, and I mean like up until a month ago. I got very sick. I was sick with the flu for 2 weeks. I had about 4 or 5 days of recovery and was fine, and then had a, what they call in medical terms, prolonged migraine for a month and a week. I'm on new medication now, so I'm no longer getting the migraines as much. I still get a little bit of pain, but nothing in comparison. And I'm just a lot healthier now in some ways. It was because I literally wouldn't let myself relax at all. Like, I was overworking myself. I was doing everything for everyone and myself, and there's just no fucking need. I was going through a phase of just like, I can't rest, I can't sit down, I can't do nothing, I have to be consistently moving and doing something. And then I was forced to not do anything for a month and a half, and now it's like I can just chill. I can work some days, and other days I can chill, and you're allowed to do both. 16, most of the time being an adult involves acting like an adult, which is so true. I'm very open that I feel like a child, like as in 6-year-old me is still thriving. She still loves pink, she still loves being called a princess, she's still loves being spoiled, she still loves Disney Channel, she still loves all like dancing and singing, you know. And like, so being an adult, you just have to understand what that means for you. And then, you know, like, I now pay bills, and I now do this, and I now, you know, and I was working since I was 16, 17, and with my own business and whatever that means. And it's just like, it's a learning thing, mate. Like, I have no idea what you're doing until you're doing it. 17, experience over anything else. Yeah, I'm very big on experiencing. I used to have this saying 2 years ago where it was, I would rather, it's like living over existing, and experiencing is what differentiates existing to living. And you know, experiences again differentiate for each person. Experiences for me is like concerts, travel, meeting new people, and going out there, and like even little dates of like buying myself flowers and working. Like it depends for each and every person, but I am a solid experiencer, whatever. 18, doing your best is all that can realistically be expected of you. If someone expects you to be perfect all the time, just tell them to fuck themselves and go home. No, and it's so cliche that no one is perfect, but truly everyone is fucking flawed. There's this saying of like, a relationship will never be 100% on both sides. Like, sometimes it will be someone is only able to give 20% and the other day they're able to give 80%. And it's just accurate, because it's like, even in yourself, in your own life, you can't always give 100% to yourself, you can't always give 100% to others. You just have to be realistic. And if you're sick and you can't go to work, but you feel bad about not being able to go to work, who's good, like, on a real note, who's expecting you to go in and infect everyone when you are under the weather and can't work 100%? Who's truly expecting 100% from you? Lay off on the pressure, guys. 19, most things take time, be patient. I used to be very impatient until recently. But the person that I mentioned earlier, who I felt like the beginning of our relationship was very doomed, and now we're in an amazing place. we never spent more than a month apart in the first year and a half. And when I finally kind of left and was like, that's it, forever, goodbye, it lasted 3 months. I was very stubborn in those first 3 months. I was in those 3 months apart, I was like, it's not happening ever again, like blah, 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 which had the most shit. And when it did happen, I was very happy, and it's been amazing, and I've been really happy, and I hate that. I was so impatient, like I wouldn't take the time that I needed prior to, until I got pushed to the extreme before the 3 months that I actually took. I just would never take the time that I needed. I would never do what was right for me because I was impatient. I was impatient, okay, I was impatient. Finally took that time, look what happened. And 3 months isn't even fucking long, okay? It really isn't. It feels like a millennium, but it isn't that long. Just be patient, okay? Like, past me, damn, the fuck. Anyways, the last one, 20, I've literally worded it like this. Have fun, you die eventually. It's true. And I hate, like, I still cry when I think about dying. Like, I've been suicidal and I still cry when I think about dying. And it's like, it's just a mind fucking like idea. It's not the actual like experience. It is a little bit, it is the experience of death, but it's just like the concept of like not being alive anymore. Anyways, people who have had crises will like understand what I'm talking about, but my point is, no one's fucking immortal. We don't live in a Marvel universe. You might as well just fuck up, and you might as well just have fun, and you might as well just do what you want. And I'm not saying go out and be an asshole. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm not saying go and murder someone. Okay, thank you. I'm just saying, if there's something small and you're holding yourself back from it, even if it's like a fucking party that you really want to go to but you're nervous, just fucking do it, man. Just fucking do it, because again, you don't want to have these regrets. Just do things that you know you're safe doing. Listen to your gut. Like, all of these are so linked, and my voice is really hurting because I'm sat in front of this fan and it's just blowing cold air down my throat. So I'm gonna go. I hope this was fun enough for all of you. I'm really sorry. I'm probably gonna hate editing this one, even though it's probably one of the easiest ones to edit. I love you guys very much. Thank you for listening to me ramble. I apologize again. I love you.